What's up, everybody? Welcome back to State of the Steelers. I'm your host, Daniel J. Today, we're doing a little bit something different. There's been some, I guess, disturbing news coming out of the tragic accident that occurred just over a year ago involving former Steelers quarterback Dwayne Haskins. We're going to be getting into all that, but before we do, I would like you guys to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. That way you're notified of all our content and things like that. Don't forget, guys, on Steel Curtain Network today at 5 p.m. Eastern, myself and Shannon White will be going live. I'll have that linked in the description. Also, we're going to be talking more about Dwayne Haskins and his this lawsuit that's been filed against this on behalf of Haskins' widow in reference to everything that's going on in this case tonight, also on the Drunk Turkey Show. So that's kind of the show where we talk more crime and things of this nature. But given the fact that the victim in this case is Dwayne Haskins, former quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, we're going to be talking about it here. So with that being said, I'm Daniel J. This is State of the Steelers. Welcome to the huddle. So, 1 year after the former Ohio State NFL quarterback Dwayne Haskins' life was taken while on a Florida highway, the family's attorney has filed a lawsuit that says his death was avoidable. A statement from Ellsley law firm and on behalf of Haskins' widow, Calabria Haskins, confirms that a lawsuit has been filed. It makes allegations of multiple fronts, including the condition of the truck that hit him, the roadway where his life was taken, and that he may have been drugged the night before he passed. And so this actually comes, initially I got word of it, obviously, from Ian Rappaport, the guy that I follow, breaks out a lot of breaking news when it comes to pro sports. And his report actually is the statement from Rick Ellsley, the Ellsley law firm. And so it says basically, Ian put in his tweet, Dwayne Haskins' attorneys filed a lawsuit 1 year after Haskins' passing based on previously unseen evidence. So let's get into, first and foremost, what happened, right? On the morning of April 9th, 2022, Dwayne Haskins was hit by a dump truck while walking on Interstate 595 in Broward County, Florida. The lawsuit cites that Florida Highway Patrol traffic report that says Haskins was only a few feet away from making it across the highway before a dump truck struck him. The suit also goes into detail about the truck and the driver. It says that the truck had multiple structural issues, including tire issues and weight of the cargo, things like that. It says including low tire tread and brake system problems, along with carrying excessive cargo and going faster than the posted speed limit, which at the time, which was listed at 65 miles per hour on that specific part of the interstate. The lawsuit also claims that the truck driver's phone records at the time of the incident have not been released, and that the driver refused to provide a blood sample at the scene and has not provided an alcohol test results. And it says before Haskins was hit by the dump truck from the left side, which is right in front of where the driver would have been, multiple other drivers that were in front and behind the dump truck avoided hitting Haskins while he was walking on the roadway. Drivers that avoided Haskins called 911. The firm released saying that the dump truck has cleared illumination from hazard lights and construction signs as well to have avoided him. So there was also a toxicology report that was released at the time. Well, it was released in May, revealed that Haskins' blood alcohol level was zero point 0.2 at the time his life was taken, almost triple the amount of the 0.08 legal limit in Florida. Haskins reportedly in the car with a female passenger before he walked around the highway for roughly 20 minutes to get gas. Now, that female in the vehicle was not, and I say it again, was not his wife. All right. So the lawsuit alleged Haskins was targeted and drugged the night before as a part of a blackmail scheme, when the lawsuit saying that his expensive watch was stolen before he was killed. In fact, let's kind of break into that aspect of this part of it. So we already know that based on his toxicology report, after the effect, there was like ketamine and some other things that were in his blood system that could be taken recreationally, but it also are certain drugs that render somebody incoherent and unable to consent and maybe even unconscious, that would leave them in a position of vulnerability to have something taken. And so right here, it says here in this statement from from Haskins' lawyer, it says, as to what occurred in the hours before Dwayne Haskins was killed, many questions remain unanswered. It is believed that Dwayne was a target targeted and drugged as part of a blackmail and robbery conspiracy. In fact, his highly expensive watch was stolen from him shortly before his passing. So, uh, at this point, if somebody did drug him, let's just say that's the case, right? Let's say somebody did intoxicate him using um, these nefarious type of drugs to leave him vulnerable in a position where they can steal something from him. And this bled on to the next morning to the point where he was impacted, and his judgment was also impacted, and also maybe his senses were impacted due to the being intoxicated under drugs that he was not aware of taking. Right? And let's just say he wasn't aware of taking these drugs. A lot of folks had asked, why would he run into the highway, things like that. Well, he was under the influence of some heavy narcotics, and that would explain some things. And in my opinion, when you look at what the rest of this, when we look at what we know, if somebody did drug him to steal something and he was still impaired at the time of when he passed away, then those people should be charged. They should be charged, and not just for manslaughter. I know that there's manslaughter, and with murder you have to show premeditation and things like that. But when it comes to enhancement of a crime, whether it's for instance manslaughter, right? You can enhance the crime if a person passes during the commission of another crime. So if somebody stole, like for instance, his watch, right? And let's just say it's super expensive as in the manner that they're saying that it is. It's like a Rolex, a couple $100,000. That's a felony theft, right? Now, if somebody passes due to the fact that during the commission of another felony, that's felony murder in most states. Right now, there's going to be some premeditation and things of that nature that occur. But typically, when you have somebody, like, for instance, if somebody were to go in to rob a bank and then somebody passes during the commission of that bank, that's felony murder. It doesn't fall or justify under premeditation, as far as where, the person who robbed the bank can go in there and say, hey, I wasn't, I didn't plan on murdering anybody. It just so happened during the commission of the crime. Well, in order to protect victims, there is that enhancement. And I think that these people, whoever did this or whoever is responsible, should be, at the full force of the law and have to, go through that criminal trial. Super sad. It's an incredibly sad situation. This young man had his entire life ahead of him, whether it was being an NFL quarterback or not. He had his entire life ahead of him. And, for greed, money, or for whatever reasons, his life was taken short because of, somebody wanted something from him. And it's tragic. He was out in Florida. He was out there with Mitch Trubisky and some of the other Pittsburgh Steelers, personnel, staff, players, doing an off-season training. He was trying to better himself and put himself in a position to be a successful NFL quarterback. And his life was taken short. It's sad. There's no explanation. There's no rhyme or reasoning for something like this to happen. And my heart, my thoughts, my prayers, all those, everything goes out to Dwayne Haskins, his widow, his family. I couldn't imagine what they're going through, especially finding out later after the fact that this possibly could have been as a result of some sort of botched robbery, man. It's sad. Let's look at this real quick. This is from NBC Sports. Lawyers suggest Dwayne Haskins was targeted and drugged as a part of blackmail and robbery conspiracy. And so it is believed that Dwayne Haskins was targeted and drugged as part of a blackmail and robbery conspiracy. In fact, his highly expensive watch was stolen from him shortly before his death. Ellsley adds the lawsuit becomes an important step in the process of uncovering the complete truth of this tragedy. Whatever the truth may be, here's hoping it becomes fully uncovered. But whether the truck driver is responsible for the collision or whether someone else is responsible for drugging Haskins as a part of blackmail and robbery conspiracy become critical elements that become explored. Also, the latter. It shouldn't simply be the subject of a civil lawsuit. That's exactly what I'm saying. This should not be just the subject of a civil lawsuit. There needs to be criminal charges brought up against these people who drugged him, attempted to rob him, which resulted in his life being ended. If Haskins was targeted and drugged, that drug contribution to his death, there should be a criminal investigation too. And so, kind of just echoing what I just said. Tragic story, tragic news, guys. This type of content is stuff that we talk about on the Drunk Turkey Show. If you guys are interested in that topic or interested more into Dwayne Haskins case, check out the links below. The link to the Drunk Turkey Show, where we'll be talking about this case a little bit more in detail with me and my buddies. We'll be there. Also, don't forget today at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, myself, Shannon White, will be on Steel Curtain Network talking about Steelers football as well. I'm sure this topic will come up. With that being said, I'm Daniel J. This is State of the Steelers. Peace.